Good day. I am Janea and I will be your reporter for today. The skin and its structures, the different bones of the skeletal system, and the major muscles of the human body. The skin. The skin is the largest organ of the body, with a total area of about 20 square feet. The skin protects us from microbes and elements, helps regulate body temperature, and permits the sensation of touch, heat, and cold. Also, the skin has three layers. The epidermis, the outermost layer of skin, provides a waterproof barrier and creates our skin tone. The dermis beneath the epidermis contains two connectivity tissue, hair follicles, and sweat glands. The deeper subcutaneous tissue or hypodermis is made of a fat and connectivity tissue. The skin color is created by spherical cells called melanocytes, which produce the pigment melanin. Melanocytes are located in the epidermis. Skin structure. The skin is divided into several layers, as shown in Figure 1. The epidermis is composed mainly of keratinocytes. Beneath the epidermis is basement membrane, also known as the dermo-epidermal junction. This narrow, multilayered structure anchors the epidermis to the dermis. The layer below the dermis, the hypodermis, consists largely of fat. Epidermis. The epidermis is the outer layer of the skin, defined as a stratified squamous epithelium, primarily comprising keratinocytes in progressive stages of differentiation. Okay. Next is dermis. The dermis forms the inner layer of the skin and is much thicker than the epidermis. Situated between the basement membrane zone and the subcutaneous layer, the primary role of the dermis is to sustain and support the epidermis. The main function of the dermis are protection, cushioning the deeper structures from mechanical injury, providing nourishment to the epidermis, playing an important role in wound healing. Hypodermis. The hypodermis is the subcutaneous layer lying below the dermis. It consists largely of fat. It provides the main structural support for the skin, as well as insulating the body from cold and aiding shock absorption. It is also interlaced the body cells, the blood vessels, and nerves. Now let us move on to different bones of the skeletal system. First is the classification of bones. Long bone has a long, thin shape. With the help of muscles, long bones work as levers to permit movement. Bones are longer than they are wide. It consists of a long shaft with two bulky extremities. Short bone has a squat, cubed shape. They consist of primarily of a spongy bone which covered by a tiny layer of compact bone. Next, flat bone has a flattened broad surface. Examples include ribs, shoulder blades, breast, and skull bones. The last one is irregular bone. Has a shape that does not conform to the above three types. Three types. And now let us move on also the major muscles of the human body. The major muscles is deltoid, which is the action shoulder abduction, flexion, and extension. Biceps. The action is flexes elbow. Triceps. Extend forearm. Gluteus maximus. External rotation and extension of hip joint. Sartorius. Lateral rotation and adduction of thigh, flexion and medial rotation of leg. And now, let us move on to major muscles of lower limb. Muscles. Quadricep group. The action is knee, extension hip, flexion. Hamstring group. Flexes knee, extends hip joint medially, rotate leg at knee. Tibials anterior. Dorsiflex and invert the foot. Gastrocnemius. Plantar flexes foot. Pectoralis control the movement of the arm, create lateral, vertical, or rotational motion. And the last major muscles of trunk posterior is trapezius. Tilt and turn the head and neck. Shrug. Elevate. Latissimus or the lower back. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you and mabuhay. Keep safe.